Well, many blessings to all of you. I hope that you're doing really wonderful. I am glad to be back. I was in New York for 2 weeks doing some mission work there. I am so very glad that I am back here in Atlantis, in Florida, and I hope that you guys are doing really well. I've had a couple of sessions over the last few days since I got back, and the inspiration to share with you a little bit about visualization and the power of visualizing to manifest and to just simply find ourselves in an incredible state of being was something that I was inspired to come and share with you today. So, what is visualization? How do we go about it? How can we optimally benefit? And how does it work? There's so many questions, right? Well, visualization is really entering into another state of consciousness, right? We can talk about dreaming, daydreaming, wishful thinking, right? When we close our eyes, or maybe we don't close our eyes, maybe we're just staring at the skies, at the clouds. We're waiting at a train station, right? And we sort of leave our state of consciousness of the perhaps the noise that's around us, and we sort of step into this dream state, right? Where we can visualize a completely different reality, right? Well, we can call that daydreaming, when we wishful think that we can just snap our fingers and make everything beautiful and perfect. The truth is that when we deliberately step into visualization, which is part of daydreaming, right? We can literally step and tap into other realities. And the reason why we don't find ourselves experiencing these other wonderful realities is because 90 to 95% of the time we are in another reality other than the one that we desire or are intending to manifest. You know, we get distracted, we have responsibilities, we have obligations, we work, right? We interact with other people. And so most of the time we find ourselves in another environment that is not conducive to us to visualize a manifestation, right? So what do we do about that? What about the fact that we spend so much time in other environments because we may need to, right? Well, we can learn to be the observers, which means that we can interact with an environment without necessarily becoming attached to it, engaged and entangled in the environment. Surely we all have responsibilities, and like I said, many of us work, right? And we work in an external environment. Some of us are lucky enough to stay indoors in our own sanctuary and be able to do our work, which then allows us to be more in that beautiful space, energetic space of being in the flow, of visualizing, of being in the flow of intentions, right? But if that is not possible, then becoming detached, the observer, and all the while having, to the best of your ability, in your forefront what you have set as an intention, a seed of intention to visualize and to co-create and manifest throughout the day. So I would recommend that if you happen to be in an external environment, that you take a few moments, especially at night, to take 5 or 10 minutes to actually practice visualization. And if you can in the morning, especially if you are externally stepping out and being in an external environment, right? By the way, we can do this It takes some practice, but we can do this wherever we are with a little practice and some tools, you know. You see all these bracelets that I have. I have these for multiple reasons. Of course, they speak to me. Each one of them is very symbolic in some way. Many of them were gifts. But I also wear them because I give them away. When I meet someone who's in need of an energetic lift me up, so to speak, right? Besides the hugs that I am always giving, I actually attune these with my own energy, healing energy, and I give them away. And so this is a tool then. These are tools that are ready to be handed, given away, and given to those, like I said, who are in need of a spiritual lift up, of an energetic lift. And so much like the bracelets, we can wear bracelets as an example throughout the day that you can activate for your own personal use. And when you're working with visualizations and intentions, bracelets are a great way because they're very inconspicuous, right? To just place one, place the intention, place the visualization, place the feeling, the energetic feeling of what it is that you're looking to co-create, and then place it on your wrist. And no one needs to know that this is a bracelet that you've attuned into an activated energy, but you can, with a glimpse, right, just connect and reconnect over and over again throughout the day with the bracelet, which is then going to carry the intention of what you co-created through a visualization. And it takes a second to just look down at your wrist, and you're going to immediately transport yourself back to that time, to that place this morning or the night before where you found yourself visualizing and creating, right? So it's a very easy way to have a tool in front of you that will help you and assist you in connecting and aligning with your visualizations. Another tool that I find also very helpful is, believe it or not, little index cards. And again, inconspicuously enough so that, you know, unless somebody's looking over your shoulders, if you happen to be at a workstation, traveling, you know, in public transportation, you can very inconspicuously pull out your cards. And again, it's a connection that you're making, right? It's a trigger. It's a beautiful trigger that just because you did the visualizations last night or this morning, they don't have to leave you. And that's such an important message, because a lot of times we think that everything ends, you know, the moment that we step out of that space of creation. I tell all the beloveds that I work with, that I have sessions with, all the time that the healing or the attunement, the activations do not end when we end. They actually begin. Because while we're spending time together, we're linked into that energetic field. But now you're taking that link. It doesn't stop. It doesn't go away just because a session ends. It actually starts to assimilate and activate you and the many parts of you internally, consciously, subconsciously, all the emotional bodies, you know, the etheric bodies, all start to be processed in the energy field that we exchange during a session, even after. And that can last for days, even weeks, right? And so we should have the awareness that just because we're partaking in a sacred ritual, an intention, right? that it doesn't end when you get up because now you have to go somewhere else. It may feel that way. Oh, now I have to walk outside. Now I have to go to work. Now I have to talk to people. But the truth is that those energies remain with you and are very active in your state of quantum energy. Uh, as long as you allow yourself to recognize that, to acknowledge it, and to attune yourself to it. In other words, know that there is a process taking place, right? And I say that because if we're not setting an intention and connecting to the fact that there is indeed energy movement in all that we experience every single moment, then we're sort of losing out, because if you allow yourself to feel that it doesn't exist, then it won't. And it won't exist, not because it doesn't, but because you're not paying attention. You're not becoming aware and linking that energetic field to yourself, and to the purposes that you're creating, right? And so visualization then can be a very important medicine tool for you to start co-creating. How do you visualize? Well, like I said earlier, we could visualize in just about any place at any time, but it does take discipline and it does take practice. So when we begin, I would recommend that if we can, have a quiet space. You can play some meditative music or some serene music. Set an environment, light up an incense, sage, put some aromatherapy, apply some aromatherapy so that all of these energies that you're introducing into your space for the visualization can then assist you, right? In creating that sacred environment. When you feel ready, you can close your eyes if you wish. And the key to visualization is to use your imagination. And that too, can be a little like, because the word itself, imagine, can give the impression that we're visualizing something that really doesn't exist, that it's make-believe. And it's unfortunate if we believe that to be the case, because imagination, visualization, is probably one of the most important tools that we possess for co-creation. Imagine yourself in that perfect place, whatever it may be for you. Visualize yourself surrounded by love, by light, by peace, by abundance, by happiness, by joy, by purpose, right? And how you visualize that visual can be as expansive as you are. What does it look like to you? Is it a beach? Is it a forest? Is it a beautiful cottage? Is it surrounded by family? Is it embraced by a beautiful partner or lover? Are you experiencing? Do you see the wellness in the body? How it's whole, how it's healthy. And how we do that again is by visualizing in our third eye. So the suggestion to keep your eyes closed would be recommended, so that you can really use your inner vision to visualize this beautiful creation of what it looks like, right? What does this look like to you? The truth is that the visualization is only part of the creation. It is the feeling that you accompany that visualization with that's really going to have the potent energy behind it, right? And again, we're talking about energy. And so as you are visualizing, it is so important that you capture what that visualization feels like. Does it inspire you to laugh, to put a smile in your face? Does it bring joy to your heart? Does it feel secure? Does it feel abundant? Does it feel fullness? Do you feel the overwhelmness of that love, of that exchange that you are co-creating as you visualize? Remember that feelings are nothing but energy and motion, right? Feelings, emotions are nothing more than energy and motion, but that is very powerful, because if emotions and energy, your feelings, I'm sorry, is energy emotion, then that means that as you are partaking in the visualization and having the feelings of your fullness, then you are actually literally putting that energy into motion in your reality, right? And that is a very basic form of the basic ABCs of creation, right? And so what happens? Why is it that if we have these tools, these practices available, why is it that we are not always successful in manifesting? And the thing is, as I said earlier, how much time are we spending in that space within us as we visualize, right? That's very important. You don't have to sit in position to do that, but you have to try to maintain it throughout the day as you move about, trying to not become entangled in the external and keeping alive the visualization through the feeling of what you created and what you are creating, right? And so that's key. And another reason why we often find ourselves frustrated and feeling incapable of visualizing into manifestation is because we have to become very responsible, very conscious of what it is that we're visualizing in the first place, right? Now, most of us wouldn't consciously say to ourselves that we are going to visualize something toxic or something low vibrational. But the truth is, as we learned earlier, that 95% of the time we are engaging in external environments, right? Through necessity, through responsibility, and through our own making, actually, we are engaging 95% of the time in non-conscious thinking, right? The thought behind the thought behind the thought. And so a lot of times one of the reasons why we feel that visualization, that co-creating and manifesting may not work is because we're not being conscious. We're being conscious for a few minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes when we actually conduct a practice. But subconsciously, there's a lot of thoughts that are going behind the scenes that can be very counterproductive to what it is that we're trying to create. And so, as an example, we can visualize that we find ourselves at peace, in love, in serenity, in wholeness, having a beautiful cottage somewhere, right? Surrounded by those that we love. And yet our thought process, our subconscious thought process, can be going 1,000 miles an hour throughout the day of, I'm worried, this is never going to happen, I'm going to get sick, somebody's going to leave me, what's happening in the world, blah, 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 right? Constantly. And unfortunately, when we're not conscious of our thoughts, then it's going to overpower whatever practice we may be attempting to create on a conscious level, right? And so being conscious of the thoughts behind the thoughts are so very important as well. If not more important, because if we're not aware of the toxicity of the thoughts behind the thoughts, then the universe has like these invisible containers that takes in or carries right? The energies that we are feeding these containers. It doesn't have any judgment. It just, inputs energetically those containers. It fills them up. And so, and I say two, right? Why not one? Because there is a subconscious and a conscious container, right? That we create within ourselves through our state of beingness and our feelings, our emotions, our intentions, right? And so the universe only follows our commandments. It's going to pick up what you are creating through visualization and co-creating, whether you would like that to manifest or not. So the universe is not deciphering. It's just going to pick up the energy and deposit it in one of those containers over a period of time. Whichever one of those containers is predominant energetically will spill over and become a reality, right? And so we want to be mindful of our subconscious thinking. And how we do that is by not allowing ourselves to be idle in our consciousness. And so, yes, we have to engage and we have to interact with others, but being mindful of the thought behind the thought that may come from an external environment, conditioning, or yourselves, by the way. And I just explained a few minutes ago how that's possible. If we're carrying all this worry of the future and, oh, this is never going to happen and I don't deserve this, then it's going to be very difficult for you not to co-create that into a reality, because whether you really want to think about that or not, the universe is collecting those thoughts as energy. Those thoughts are really energy. And they are deposited into the universe, right? And so we want to be conscious. How do we do that to the best of our ability? Do not engage in toxic conversations, interactions. Stay surrounded to the best of your ability with things that are conducive to peace, to love, to joy, to purpose, to love, to light, right? We know what that feels like, lovingly detaching from people, places, and things that are not in harmony then with those thoughts. Watching yourself with the news outlets, the media, newspapers, anything that's going to feed you or fuel you, influence you with something that is fearful, that is deceitful, that's fear-based, separation, right? So visualization is powerful. It becomes much more powerful when it's centralized within you and not being influenced by other external factors that can minimize then the visualization that you are creating, right? You get that? Right? Does visualization work? Absolutely. How long does it take to work? It depends on you. And everything that I shared in this video, can we manifest, co-create through visualization the world that we desire to experience? Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I hope that this teaching is one that you put into practice, that you're excited about. And I, of course, would love to hear your feedback after you've put it into practice, to share how is it working for you. Have you noticed any differences? Because if you are practicing and abiding by the cosmic laws, then you should see a shift in your realities, in your consciousness, in your state of beingness, by practicing visualization on a really high space and making sure that you secure that space within yourself from external influences, right? And so again, I love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and how, if you are already practicing visualization, how is it working for you? Yes. And of course, please, I ask you as a personal favor, if this video has spoken to you in any way, please take a moment to like the video. I see that a lot of people watch the videos, but they don't take a moment to like it. And the liking of the videos changes the position of the videos that people are, are viewing in the channels. And so your like can help other people find this video, and of course the sharing. If it spoke to you, share it with others, so that you too can help others become inspired, informed, and in the know of these wonderful tools and practices that can change our lives. And finally, if there is a specific topic, I do intend, I hope, to keep coming back. I was, as I said, in New York doing mission work. I do a lot of traveling. I do a lot of teaching. But I do want to commit myself to coming back to YouTube to share the insight, the teachings. So if you're looking for a particular topic that you feel can be useful to you and to others, do not hesitate to drop me a message, a comment in the YouTube page, or you can always do that personally. You can find me on my website, Blanca Beyar, BEYAR.com, at spirituality, the number one, at AOL.com. Yes. It has been such a joy connecting with you. Again, I hope that this video was helpful in some way. Always, 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 I leave you with my love, with my light, and with my peace. I love you all so very much, and it's always such a joy to connect until we see each other again. Yes, much love to you. Mwah. Love you.